Okay, let's jump right in. We're going to dissect one of the most important skills you can have right now, figuring out what information is actually worth your time.
I mean, think about it. Every single day we're just flooded with articles, reports, all sorts of data. So how in the world do you separate the solid, reliable stuff from all that noise? That's the big question we're tackling today.
And to do this, we're going to get practical. We're not just going to sit here and talk about theory. Nope. We are going to perform a little information autopsy on a real-world example. It's the best way to really learn how to think critically.
Okay, so here's our subject for today. It's an expert article on something pretty specific, Malaysian law. Now, hang on, you do not need to be a lawyer, I promise, because the topic itself isn't really the point. This article, it's our specimen. And by taking a close look at it, we're going to build a universal toolkit that you can use on any source about any topic.
So what is it that makes a source strong and dependable? When we really looked into it, it pretty much boils down to three core pillars. Think of it like a basic health check for any piece of information that comes your way.
And here they are. First up, the content itself has to be accurate and deep. Second, it needs a logical, easy-to-follow structure. And third, and this is a big one, its claims have to be backed by evidence you can actually check. If you can get these three right, well, you're looking at a truly trustworthy source. All right, let's dive into that first pillar, content. This is really the heart and soul of any source. See, it's not enough for something to just be correct on the surface. It needs to have real substance, real depth.
And this is where you can see the huge difference between a superficial summary and real deep knowledge. A basic source, it might just tell you, hey, there's a 6-year time limit to sue. Okay, fine. But a reliable source, like the one we're looking at, gives you that critical nuance. It says, yeah, but hold on, for cases involving land, it's actually 12 years. See that? That one little detail can change absolutely everything.
And this is where that depth really shines through. It's all in the details. Our source didn't just stop at the basics. No way. It covered the recent 2018 legal amendment for something called latent damage. It mentioned that other laws have even shorter time limits. And it explained these super important exceptions for things like fraud and disability. This is what separates a true expert guide from a simple, shallow summary. But the best content in the world doesn't mean much if it's a complete mess, right? It's not just about what's included, it's about how it's presented. And that brings us to our second pillar, logical structure. A truly trustworthy source takes you on a logical journey. It starts with the why, the foundational purpose. Then it gets into the specific rules. Then it shows you real case studies and wraps up with strategic advice. It builds your understanding one logical step at a time.
Okay, now for what might be the single most important ingredient of trust, the proof. It's simple, really. A source has to do more than just make claims. It has to show you the receipts. This, right here, is where a good source becomes a great one.
This really gets to the heart of it. Think of it this way. Anyone can make an assertion. Assertions are cheap. Evidence? Evidence is everything. A trustworthy source is confident. It's not afraid to point you to its primary materials, whether that's raw data, research papers, or, in our case, actual legal statutes and court cases.
So here's the crucial part. You can actually check the work. And you know what? We did. The article cited these major court cases, so we looked them up. And guess what? They're all real, they are all landmark decisions, and every single one of them correctly supports the points being made in the article. This is what verifiable evidence looks like in the real world. It's not some mysterious black box. It's a clear, traceable trail.
All right, so we've basically put our specimen under the microscope. We've taken it apart and seen what makes it tick. Now let's put all of these lessons together into a simple but really powerful tool, your own personal information X-ray.
And here it is, your trustworthiness checklist. It all boils down to just a few key questions based on those pillars we talked about. So the next time you're looking at a news source, just run down the list. Ask yourself, is the content actually accurate and deep? Does it cover the important nuances? That's pillar 1. Does it follow a logical structure that makes sense? That's pillar 2. And is it backed by solid, verifiable evidence? That's pillar 3. If you can answer yes to these, then chances are you've found something you can really trust.
So, there you have it. The power is officially in your hands now. This isn't just some passive exercise, right? It's a toolkit for active, critical thinking. So think about the last article you read, or the next report that's going to land on your desk. The only real question left is, what piece of information will you put to the test?